Chapter 21. Brit named Matt Wilson, who was an out-of-hand troll, flipped to Team Gigi and started attacking Brennan. I always get very leery on whether or not when things like this happen, how much of it is stage vaudeville act, or how much of it is real. Matt Wilson was actively attacking Brennan, calling him out for being a closet homosexual and first-case liar. Not getting involved in this, it definitely caught my eye, and I placed a close ear to all the theatrical performances. Finally, Matt Wilson reached out to me and told me exactly what he was going to do, how his Slack account was going to call out Brennan for an online masturbator. Matt Wilson laid out the trap, and Brennan fell for the bait. Matt Wilson put on a performance and owned Brennan, and he was getting excited thinking it was someone else. He called out his homosexual behavior and his unhealthy obsession for me. So while Wilson was fighting for Team Gigi, then of course Brennan, being compulsive masturbator and a first-class liar, he had put his spin on it so he would justify the argument and spin his narrative. Whatever the case was, he couldn't use the Teflon act this time because it fucking stuck. I had a block of radio shows in the summer 2014 and Matt Wilson appeared on one and talked about it. It was entertaining, and he put his spin on exactly what Brennan was doing. We both agreed we called Brennan out for being a chronic masturbator. Lol, another troll popped out the woodwork named Will Markland, a glorified extra in Hollywood that does non-speaking roles and claims to be an actor in which he isn't a level entertainer. Claimed to fame on non-speaking roles on Scrubs, blowing a kiss to another man and eating cereal out of a bowl and watching a lady walking down the street. An action-packed movie that the main star Bruce Willis, who doesn't even have a clue to who this retard is. But I digressed. These trolls are bottom feeders and are self-loathing bitches that feel better when someone else get attacked when they are the scum of the earth and have no lives. This bitch lives in apartment North Hollywood, in which was raided a few times by the local authorities. Only if I was a fly on the wall to hear the commotion and the twisted irony. More rumblings about the documentary were started. The documentary had good traction, and even though it didn't get the response that was needed, it still told the right narrative and the true story without their connection involved within it. Win for Team Gigi, pretty much. Meanwhile, I was on the verge of getting my own taxi business. After renting from others, I finally bought a cab. I bought Rocky's old Dodge Caravan and turned into Ride-em Cowboy Taxi. Tired of renting from others, I started my cab business. We started the 2014 season, and Kevin and I worked our differences out and added a new character, Name Bo, who was the taxi driver that rapped and performed Every Guy Needs a Hoe. LOL.
So every guy needs a hoe. Yeah. Sorry.
Something close to that. So the crew consists of Kevin, Vince, and B.O. New season started, and it was knocked out to say the least. On one of the shows, Kevin played good Jesus, while Bo Plaid, the David Carish Jesus, with a demonic sound. Bo was a natural and funny on camera.
He was funny in general.
His claims that he had the spirit of Martin Luther King within his body and soul. He also claimed he wrote the original Every Rose Has Its Thorns, clearly written by Bret Michaels, not Bo, but just believed it to keep him happy. Lol, I had a new roommate who moved in who was related to one of the cab drivers, clearly a mistake because that lasted only 6 months and I was going to kill the jerk off because he was an alcoholic and broke my furniture and the string on my guitar by playing it. I told the bitch next time he touched my property, I would knock his ass out in the middle of next week. The freak of nature not only was a drunken baboon, he would try my last nerve. I told him to get out of my house and was ready to knock the living shit out him if he didn't get out. He was a detriment and a loud, obnoxious drunk. Dude's name was Alan. They called him Aloysius. He definitely had to go because would have been beaten to bloody pulp. LOL. Through this time, I had a dancer girl who worked at Paper Moon who I would transport around to work to the club. She went under the stage name Reagan, just like the last name of our 40th president. LOL. Reagan was an Italian girl who had long legs and a girl I wanted to get close to, but only had the brief pleasure of driving around in my taxi until she moved back to Pennsylvania. More stress brewed at the home front because another issue with the mortgage company threatening to take my house, and I had to get them to proceed with an modification and tried desperately to get them to work with me by signing another document to stall for more time and challenging them to produce the original note. 2014 ended, and a lot of pressure mounted up and ready for 2015, and was hoping to get finances in order and get somebody reliable to move in that would pay me rent on time.